another unscheduled stop on the road to musical bliss. It's your friend, host, Prefab Van, also known as Glenn, and I'm doing a supplement, an addendum to the show, which was actually the last show, and that last show was about phony surround sound DVDs, musical discs, and I went into two that were just dreadfully fake. And as I've been listening to my music and going through my piles and piles, I've come up with two more. Now, one is incredibly difficult to get, so it's not going to affect anybody. Let's hit that one first. That first one is going to be Steely Dan. And what surround sound Steely Dan is there besides Gaucho? Well, some people do have pretzel logic in surround. Allegedly in surround. Now, if you are one of those people and you've gotten it from wherever, I hope you didn't buy it, because, it is circulated among Steely Dan lovers without a price tag. But it is, at least in my opinion, it's as phony as hell, because there is no 4-channel anything. And I mean it. There is no difference between the front right and the rear right, or the front left and the rear left. It is just a fog of music, and not even very well recorded music. Well, actually, it could have been recorded well, but when it comes out in this surround sound mix, which was that taken, you think, from a disc, a record? I don't hear any clicks or pops, but I don't believe I've ever seen pretzel logic in 8-track surround sound tape. But whatever the format it supposedly was, it just blows. It's terrible. I mean, the sound is bad. There's no 4-channel effect at all. There's no apology for it, like there is on one of their other albums where it explains why the sound is so bad. One of the strangest stories about water. About they had all their master tapes kept in an office in the upstairs of a office building, one of those huge office buildings downtown, and on Sunset Boulevard. And one night, mysteriously, a fog came in and got everything in the office completely dripping wet, including the tape. And that ruined their master tape. So that's a different album. This one was not ruined, but there's something very wrong with it, so just stay away from it. And the second one is a real disappointer to me, and it's mysterious, too. I don't understand exactly what the problem is, why there is a problem, but it's for Beatles fans. Well, maybe Beatles fans. It is the Wings or McCartney, At the Speed of Sound. Now, that's not a great album. It's one of the better McCartney albums because Denny Lane throws in 2 really good songs. Actually, I like it because Denny Lane throws in a good song. Jimmy McCullough, which is the name he goes by, it's not his name, but okay, that's the name he went by. He throws in Wino Junko, which I just read some horrible reviews of. But the point is, the album is mediocre, typical McCartney, not anything to write home about. But I bought the most expensive version, which is the Sound and Vision audiophile, and in big letters DAP, which I'm still not sure what that is. Digital audio program? I don't know. But anyway, on the front, there is no mention of surround sound. Now, online, when I bought it from the website I bought it from, it did say it was in quad, which is, surround sound 4-channel. When I played it, I had varying results. And, I mean, there was one night when I played it and I had what I consider definitely surround sound, and I remember how shocked I was and how great the surround sound effect was of hearing Denny Lane in the front singing To Me, and then hearing Paul's wife. I don't like to give her the credit, but okay, Linda was in the band. All right, Linda McCartney. So she was in the band, and you can hear her go from the right rear speaker to the left rear speaker very clearly. To me, and it sounded very good. And the singing, I thought, sounded very nice, too. But I don't know. Is there one song on there maybe that's in surround? I don't know what the problem is, but here's the thing. If you turn the jacket over, now you're going to have a hard time finding it. It's not a lot of people who don't want to sell it for reasons I don't need to get into. But if you do find a copy of Wings at the Speed of Sound on the audiophile version, Sound and Vision, the back does say Dolby Surround. And it has the little insignia that implies it's in surround sound, a square with dots at each of the corners and one in the front center, and that's their signal that this is in Dolby surround sound. Great. But when you put it into, I should bring that back. When I put it into my players, and I've got a whole array of them to just test for this exact kind of problem, it does not offer me any surround sound option. So I see, there's an option of 2-channel. What 2-channel is that? 9624, the new mix. That's pretty good. I like that. If I was a stereo guy, which I'm not, that would be something I'd really want to have, right? Right. But the only other alternative mix on it is, it says it has the original stereo mix, and that is in 4816. And that means that the disc says there is no Dolby Surround version on the disc. Wow. Now, one of the things I've tried to do to see if that would help resolve this matter is I've put it into the drive, the Blu-ray drive of my computer, and said, hey, unload every goddamn thing on here onto the hard drive, and we'll go through it and then erase it. Okay, now we got 11.2 gigabytes of information. That's a lot of info. That's more than enough for a surround sound album in 5.1, which usually would be somewhere about 3.2 gigabytes. Well, the problem is that one of them has video, needless video that you would never watch, you would never pay for, you would never buy, just stupid video that somebody on the tour must have, had a little camera in their pocket and took pictures when nobody was looking, and it's just really awful stuff. There's no reason to listen to it whatsoever, or to watch it, I should say. And it's just awful, but it goes along with the music. So maybe that's what takes up all 11 gigabytes. I don't know, but the point is that when I put it out in a file on my hard drive on my Macintosh computer, well, I got 2 versions, and they were both in 2-channel. The computer did not recognize anything there as in multi-channel, okay? I will say that at one time I was going through some files, and I believe my computer was looking at the file on the disk, not on my hard drive, and I played it, and there definitely was a surround sound, because what it was, how did I get this? It was the 2 rear channels So you could hear the two rear channels, but unfortunately there was no front channel. So I couldn't hear Paul singing and playing the piano, but I could hear the band out of the rear speakers. Well, to have that is what you need to make to have surround sound. So somebody was working on surround sound. But I've never again been able to find it. And it probably has something to do with the players I pick, the choices I give the player on what outs, like HDMI or coax or whatever. The choices I give it say, well, in that case, then we're only going to play these two formats. One would be the 9624 and the other would be the 4816. So that's not good. So there's something in there. It is possible somebody will tell me that it is an Easter egg and there's a way to get to the surround sound if you do this and do that. I probably spent 2 hours last night doing every sort of, okay, if I go here and I select the movie or the video of at the speed of sound, and then I pick audio options, maybe somewhere, somehow, it'll offer me Dolby Surround. But it does not. It just continually offers me one of two stereo versions. The off-topic 9624 does sound deliciously good. The sound is just great. And I do really like Denny Lane's The Note You Never Wrote. And I like, even though it got horrible reviews, I do like Wino Junko by Jimmy McCullough, a little, addled bird brain there. You watch him, he doesn't know what he's doing, but he was a good guitar player. And he was the singer for that band that did Something in the Air, Captain so-and-so, or some military name. But Something in the Air was his band. So they had a hit. He was a great guitar player, but he was subject to some really terrible, he had mental problems, suffered from depression, tried to treat it with drinking and drugs, which doesn't usually help, to say the least. And it didn't help. And so not only did he write this great song about the dangers of drugs and the evil of Dr. Tom, who's old and can't really earn a living, so instead he just has people come in and he writes them a prescription. Here you go, put your money in the box. And there are lots of people like that, there and here. And so he writes about Dr. Tom. And then, well, what happened to Jimmy McCullough? He overdosed on heroin and he died. So that's it. So that's actually the end. I don't want to drag out today's show needlessly, which I normally don't do anyway. So let's talk about subscribe, please. Ring the bell, please. And give me a thumbs up if you're in one of those formats where you can do that. And if you want to financially help the show, because it does cost money to make and to record and all that stuff, you can't, because we don't want your money. Thank you. If you would just listen and share it with a friend, I'll be happy. Now, if you really have some bucks and you want to help us and share or say thank you for all of this great work we do reviewing albums and preventing you from getting taken on bogus surround sound albums, give what you can to Grace Ukraine. I'm not sure, is it Grace for Ukraine? Grace to Ukraine? But I know it says Grace and Ukraine, and it has a picture of the Ukraine flag, and they are in trouble. Well, actually, wait a minute. What am I saying? The past few days, the reports have been tremendous. The reports are that they've started skunking the Russians really badly. And this scares me. The weapons that we sent them, when I say we, I mean the United States. If there's anybody outside the United States listening, please give me a hello. at princeprospero@gmail.com. And we help them out because they are fighting Hitler. They deserve all the help we can give them. But we gave them these new miraculous high rams. I'm not an expert. I don't know what they are, but they are very, very deadly. And they have been turning the battle, turning the tide, because, wow. So they've been killing Russians by the gazillion, and we have to be scared because Russia is going to take steps against the U.S. Ouch. So anyway, if you want to give some money, though, that's where you could give money, especially like the Red Cross or somebody like that. If you're not comfortable giving money to somebody who's going to turn it into weapons in order to win the war against Hitler, but that's fine. So give it to the Red Cross or there's many, many other organizations that will help the Ukrainian people with their medical needs and, of course, the huge cost of rebuilding what the Russians have leveled. Pieces of shit. Not all Russians, by the way. Not at all. No. Referring to the leaders of Russia. And so that's it. So thank you for listening. And we've got coming up in just, I think it's one more day. One more day we will have a new review of a surround sound Beatles in 5.1 and 7.1. What? What? Yes, that's coming up. That'll be here in either one day or 2 days. I'll take a look at the calendar. And thanks for listening and share, and I'll see you next week.